Follow Paddy Power on Snapchat. The username is ThePaddyPower, and we promise there won't be any boring snaps about gigs, the weather, or the gym.
Hello, one and all, and welcome to our Easter weekend racing postcast. Joining myself, Lee Mottershead here in the RP studio. We've got James Hill, and we've got over in Ireland Brendan Duke, and from our sponsors, Paddy Power, Rob Catterson. Hello, one and all. We all in good order. James, you well?
Yes, we're good, thanks, Lee.
Good.
Yourself?
Brendan, you well?
Flying form, thanks, Lee. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you. And Rob, you in good order?
Yeah, great. Looking forward to an action-packed few days.
Yeah, it'll all be very good. More importantly, how are we boys on the Easter egg front? Have you acquired Easter eggs yet, or are you not really Easter egg sort of people?
Well, I mean, I got given one last night, so
Nice.
I got in early.
Yes.
But no, my missus will probably disapprove of me getting any more, so that'll probably be it now.
Okay. And Brendan, you a big Easter egg fan?
Wouldn't be a big Easter egg fan. Leader for children, aren't they?
Well, you say that. You see, there are these days so many high-class chocolatiers. My best tip of this postcast will be, if you like your chocolate, wait until Easter Monday and then go to your Hotel Chocolats, your Montezumas, and get your nice high cocoa solids eggs at half price.
Yes.
Arvin away, Lee. Arvin away.
Get the good quality ones.
That is by far the best advice of this postcast. We go, though, from that into Musselburgh. It's the main card on ITV4 on Saturday. Difficult times at Musselburgh with World War III going on there politically, but that won't stop the Tote Place Spot handicap taking place at 150. Rob, give us his first show of the programme.
Okay, Lee, so the 150, we're joint favourites Luia and Twin Appeal, last year's winner, both 4-1. We're 7-1 Imperial State, 7-1 also Louis Vaz de Torres, 8-1 Masham Star, and a bit of support for that, 8-1 about Hayed and Set in Stone, and we're 14s bar.
James, the 150.
I think I'll start off going for Louis Vaz de Torres here. He's on a nice light weight, good course and distance form. He won last May with Paul Hannigan up. I think he's back on this time. And he's off a pound lower. We know he handles soft ground well, and it could be that the Archer's starting to hit form.
Okay, excellent. Brendan?
Very trappy race, Lee. I was drawn to this Imperial State as possibly the best handicapped horse of the race.
Right.
Now, he's picked up for only 15 grand by the Easterbees, and they've given him a wind up. Also, he hasn't run since July, so maybe his wind wasn't the only issue. But he's a man that knows a bit about value, and he could be well bought at 15,000. I'll take a chance on him.
You just reminded anyone who didn't see it, during the week we posted a video of Mick Easterby singing helping to sing the Cole Porter classic Night and Day with a friend of his on a 115-year-old piano that Mick would like to be restored so he can then auction it for charity. He's got much woodworm, the piano. And Mick is in great order and sings the words night and day occasionally during the song. It was very lovely. Rob, you got any views on this one?
I'd agree with Brendan pretty much for the same reasons. The first run since the wind up and the first run for Mick Easterby. He's fairly versatile ground-wise as well as Imperial State, and he's pretty consistent as well. So, like Brendan, I thought he was valued at about 7-1. Okay,
and guys, with these other races, we've got so many races to get through today. Just sort of intervene and butt in freely, have views on it. The Borderless Scott Sprint Trophy. Rob, how strong a favourite is Alpha Delfini?
Yeah, he's been pretty solid all week at 5-4. Graham Lee's obviously on board. We're 9-2 Desert Law. Paul Midgley's got a couple here. Kylang Rock is 7-1 with Line of Reason. Caspian Prince, the top weights 8s, and we're 14s bar.
Brendan, like yourself, some real old favourites in this one.
Absolutely, and should be running a right good clip as well, Lee. I was a little surprised. The favourite would be hard to beat, needless to say. I was a little surprised Kylang Rock wasn't second fav, though. This horse should really enjoy the strong pace to run at, and I thought on form he was pretty close to the clear second best. I thought he was a sporting each way bet against the fav.
Okay. James, got any views on this one?
Absolutely agree with Brendan on that. I think Kylang Rock, he's only 4, he's young, so there should be more improvement to come. Good level of form. No course form like Alpha Delfini has, but he goes well fresh. He won first time out last season, and he liked the ground.
Rob, if you tip Kylang Rock as well, we've got the first hat-trick of the programme.
Yeah, not yet, but the lads will probably be right. I just thought, listen, he's a 9-year-old, and obviously he's giving weight all around. But I just thought Caspian Prince, the old boy, like we all know how fast he is. He's a 5 furlong specialist, and even though he's 9, he's still been running really, really good. And I just thought this was maybe an easier task than he's had in a while. And at 8-1, I thought he was value.
Okay, the Tokesport.com Royal Mile is the first of the really big handicaps on the Musselburgh card. 30 grand. For this one, Rob, again, just go through the main horses.
Yeah, the pronunciation of the favourite's probably going to be wrong. Ayuthaya for Tom Eves and Kevin Ryan. We make that the 4-1 favourite. 9-2 fake news. It's 5s breaking records and 8s bar.
Okay, and do you have any views?
Yeah, I'm very sweet on this favourite. If you look at his form last year, second to El Carm, obviously that's a potential Giddy's contender. Second to Lisheen, Cash as well. That's Frank the form. He's won on heavy ground. He looks extremely well handicapped off 8-12. At 4-1, I'd make him one of the bets of the day.
Okay, and James, a wide range of abilities on showing this handicap.
Yeah, lots of chances. I'm going to take a chance here on Hard Graft at a price. He's taking a big rise in class, but he did win well at Southwell last time, so he's coming here at the top of his game, improving. I mean, I do like horses who win on the fibre sand at Southwell when I'm looking for one on soft ground, because this is obviously hard work there, and you need someone that's going to really tough it out, and he could be just that. Okay,
yeah, good to soft the condition at the moment on it.
Yeah, plenty of rain coming though. I mean, he's not heavy, but it could be prolonged.
Yeah.
That's what my forecast says anyway.
All the problems they've got to muster with a minute. A wet Saturday on their big day on the telly. They don't need that. Brendan, you a hard grafter?
Yes, I am a hard grafter, but I could, like Rob, I found it hard to look past the fav here.
Okay.
Didn't have to improve to win the maiden at Chester, but again, to echo Rob, based on the previous maiden defeats, looks well handicapped. Hasn't been missed in the market, granted, but I just couldn't get away from it.
Okay, the big one at Musselburgh on Saturday, £100,000 up for grabs in the Tote Pool Queen's Cup, the old favourite Clever Cookie. Heading the weights 9.10 off a rating of 108. But Rob, I'm guessing he's not going to be challenging for favouritism.
No, he's a little bit down the list. We're 4-1 Time to Study, 5-1 American Gigolo for Harry Fry. His horses are flying. 6-1 Sir Chauvelin, 7's Night of Glory, 8's Mixed Boy, 10's A Clever Cookie, and 12's Bar.
Tell you what, James, Harry Fry having a serious contender on a 100 grand flat handicap.
Yeah,
didn't expect that a few weeks
and
ago.
all the way up at Musselburgh as well. You've got to take note of that. No, that is unusual. He's got a chance, American Gigolo. I'm going to go to the top of the market with Time to Study though. He's got a nice draw, good, tough horse. I mean, this is his sort of trip, and he goes well after a break on soft ground. I mean, I know it's his first run back, but I should think he'd be fit enough to win.
Yeah, Brendan, aside from this Time to Study had a really good season last season.
Yes, a fine season. Typically handy, hardy Johnson horse. Again, you'd be entitled to question my grafting credentials, but just keep putting up the fav. But I thought he was a perfectly fair price at around 4-1. He's going to run well. He can get on the pace, which is never any harm in Musselburgh.
Yeah.
And I thought he'd definitely run well.
Okay, a lot of love for Time to Study there then. And Rob.
Yeah, favourite will probably take a lot of beating. Again, it's probably a sentimental pick, but Clever Cookie with the rain on the way. He's, obviously, listen, he was well beaten behind Order of St. George when we saw him the last time, but this is very much a big step down in class, and there's bigger than 10s out there. And I just thought with the rain coming, he'll either finish nowhere or he'll run a great race. And I thought there was life in the old boy yet, and I thought at a bit bigger than 10s, I thought he was value.
I think as well, this has been his aim to start the season off for quite a while, so he'd be a popular winner.
He's a good record fresh as well.
Yeah, so a lot of ticks in the boxes there for Clever Cookie. Guys, before we leave Musselburgh and head down the country, anything else on the Musselburgh card that we like? Shout out now.
Not from me. No.
Anything in Ireland for Musselburgh, guys?
No, nothing from me.
Nothing from me, I'm afraid.
No, I'm afraid Musselburgh, that's your lot. 4 races we've gone through there, no more. Before we go for commercial break, competition time. And my script says here, congratulations. Actually, it says congrats. I don't like that word, congrats. It's a bit informal, isn't it? Congrats.
No.
Anyway,
I never say
congrats to Andrew from Nottinghamshire. who is the winner of this week's £25 free bet from Paddy Power. Congrats to Andrew. There will be another chance to win on Monday. More from us after the break.
Success ain't earned, it's bought. That's why at Paddy Power, we paid the big bucks for the best tech nerds in the world to develop our new, fastest ever app. Download the new app from the App Store or Play Store now. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Welcome back, folks. Good jumping on Saturday at Haydock, where astonishingly, the ground I'm looking at here says good to soft, soft in places, which is basically firm by Haydock standards.
Yeah, I haven't seen that for a long time.
No, for a winter, well, not winter anymore, but a jump season meeting. All these, the Challenger Series final, tons of 50 grand handicaps across the card, really competitive stuff. The first of them is the Middle Distance Chase Series final, one of 3 on ITV4. Rob, are you betting on the race?
We are. We make Creve Hill our 5-2 favourite. The penny starting to drop with him. 11-4 Creep de Bois. We're 7s Orbassa, 8s Alumomo, and 28 Guns. 9s Native Robin, 10s Bar.
And the winner is?
Listen, obviously, Creve Hill was a very good winner at Sandown the last day. He beat Alumomo by 20 lengths. He's now £11 worse off, and it's hard to believe Alumomo, who was sent off favourite at the festival a couple of seasons ago, he's now £20 lower over fences. Listen, he's obviously not as good as everybody thought he was going to be, but I just thought getting an £11 swing at 8-1, I thought he was much better value than the favourite at 5-2.
Okay, Brenny, singing from the same hymn sheet?
Similar comments, certainly about Creve Hill. I mean, he's up £9. It was admittedly impressive the last day, but I thought that race fell asunder a little bit. So, from a handicapping point of view, I'll play the other one at the top of the market, the Creep de Bois, who is in good form and probably still has upside from the market.
Okay, James.
I'd have to go with the favourite here. I bet Creve Hill. I mean, I know he doesn't look an easy ride, and I'm sure he isn't, but he's still got a good level of course form this term. And he won very well last time, so he comes here right at the top of his game. Trainers won this for the last 2 years, this race.
He's got a good record on this day, hasn't he?
Yeah. Ballyburley, I think, won it the last 2 years for him.
Yeah.
So, no.
But he's not represented, James, in the 2-mile hurdle series final that comes up at 2:40.
Mm-hmm. No, this is a tricky one here. I've in the end decided with Dan Skelton's brilliance in 2-mile handicap hurdles and gone for the bottom weight, Ho Royale. We haven't seen him for a long time, so we are taking a bit of a chance, but he's improving and is lightly raced, and just the sort of horse that could run well for Skelton here. So with the ground being on the soft side still, I go for that one.
You think Bridget's on the right one in that one? Because Harry's involved as well, isn't he, on
it'd be quite a light weight for Harry to get down to, wouldn't it?
Yes, fair point, actually, a 10-stone one, so with Bridget's claim.
Yeah, £3. So.
Rob?
Pretty trappy, as we've already heard. I just thought G2 Balco at 7-1 might be a bit of value. Takes a good step down, ran a long way at Sandown in the Imperial Cup in his most recent start. He's been running in much better races than this, and he's got a good Haydock record. He's 2 from 3 at Haydock. I thought he was the better of Donald McCain's 2. His horses are going well. At 7s, I thought he was a bit of value to top weight.
Okay, 7s, Cheetah Balco. And Brendan, anything?
Again, I found it hard to get away from Joke Dancer. He's been highly progressive, except for one blip here. The opposition have a lot of question marks. I just thought he was very solid in the context of the race.
Okay, and the last of the Challenger races being shown on ITV4 is the Staying Chase Series final. 3 miles, and what these days is 1 furlong. And a bit that extended that 3-mile chase course at Haydock earlier in the season. Rob, how'd you bet this one?
Okay, so we're 9-2 behind time. We're 13-2 Wicked Willie. We're 7-1 about Potter's Legends, Shanroe Milan and Private Malone, and we're 9s Bar.
And do you have a selection?
It looks as though that this is the obvious reason for Barry Geraghty over in Haydock tomorrow. We've mentioned Harry Fry's horse is going really well, and this lad, it was hard not to be impressed when he won at Hugh Toxer the last day. He's gone up £7, but the first time cheek pieces appeared to do the trick, and I thought he was the most likely winner yet. Okay, Brendan?
Yeah, I agree. He's long looked a horse. I mean, he just didn't kick on from when he landed that gamble in Cheltenham over hurdles early in his career, and then he looked like he was pretty clueless over fences, but he really put it together the last day. That Big River's a very solid sort. and I certainly don't think the £7 will be a problem. I thought he looked the best bet in the card.
Okay, right, 2 for behind time. James?
I'm going to side a Delusion of Grandeur here.
Still no hat-trick.
Yeah, I'm afraid not. Just a bit worried about the form of the yard. That'd be the only thing with this one. But he's probably got the best level of form around Christmas time when he was placed in the Roland Merrick. Since then, the second's come out and won the Sky Bet Chase. The fourth was hosed up in the Ida. So that is good form, man. He jumps to a Delusion of Grandeur, so he'd be as solid as any in that.
Okay, and guys, I'm going to go slightly off script here. Before we go to Maidan and the rest of Britain, is there anything else on the rest of this card at Haydock that anybody likes? Speak now or forever hold your peace?
I've got my nap coming up later, but I should probably mention that
hold
later
fire on that one, yeah. Guys, anything at Haydock? No?
No, nothing really.
No? Okay, cool. Well, in that case, before we look at the rest of the domestic British and Irish Saturday action, it's Dubai World Cup night at Maidan on Saturday. A string of Group 1s from 12:45 through to 5:50, ending in the Dubai World Cup. Rob, what do you like at Maidan on Saturday?
Right, I'll fly through this. I thought Vazirabad would be able to win 3 in a row in the Dubai Gold Cup. I think he'll get the better of Rare Rhythm. Goldtown looks a standout in the UAE Derby against Aiden's 3 or 4. He was brilliant in his last 2 starts. I thought Hit the Bid was overpriced in the sprint. He's been running well there in his last 3 runs. I like Blair House in the Dubai Turf. My bet in the day at Maidan is Hawkbill in the Dubai Shima Classic. He looks way overpriced at 8s. And I thought Talismanic might give the favourite plenty to do in the World Cup. He's very consistent. He's a Breeders' Cup winner. And obviously he won a Sean T on the all-weather in his comeback. So could be good days for the boys in blue.
Okay, brilliant. Brendan, you're revved up for Maidan?
Yes, I was excited about Maidan.
Nice.
I don't find it a particularly successful punting ground. There was one I liked in the 5:10, the Poet's Word, who has a really steady improvement curve at the typical Michael Stout horse. He's up in trip to a 1.5, which I think will help. Yeah. And I like the long straight. I like the long stray for him as well. I thought he was a fair price, around 4-1.
Okay, brilliant. And James?
I mean, the one horse I am going to be keen to watch at Maidan is Poet's Word in the Shima Classic. One of the horses that I'm going to be following this season. He ran some really nice races towards the end of last term when the ground probably wasn't in his favour, and we know what an ace Sir Michael Stout is in improving horses as they get older.
It's just so obvious, isn't it? A stouty horse like that, with that sort of profile this year.
Absolutely what, typical type of horse that he really gets Group 1s out of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of love then for Stouty's horse in the Shima Classic. And guys, before we finish on Saturday, anything anywhere else? We've got racing at Chelmsford, Cork, Carlisle. It's a Rosebery at Kempton, not on the telly this year.
I'll be going there.
Also the Magnolia Stakes. Go on, James.
Well, I'm just saying I'll be going there because my family's got a horse running there. So,
go on. What have you got?
Casper the Cub.
Right.
I don't actually know what time it's at, I'm afraid. Just I should know, but he's got a bit of pace about him, so hopefully he's going to run well.
Okay. I had a runner at Toaster yesterday.
Oh, did you?
I had a share listeners in a horse that Nick Watts, of course, a regular on your seat there, bred in the Mares Maiden Hurdle at Toaster, Stormy Sky.
Okay. Yeah,
unfortunately unseated at the first flight, which was disappointing. What was more disappointing was that most of the boards were showing 50-1, 40-1.
Yeah.
And there was a guy on the end that had 125-1 on the board. So I dashed across, had £5 each way, thinking fantastic, turned around, walked away, and he changed the odds to 150. Literally, as soon as I'd done it, so I went in again.
Oh no!
And I was thinking, you think, don't you? If you've got a horse at 150-1 and you've got a share in it, if the horse wins and you've had nothing on, you feel stupid.
Yeah, no, of course.
And as it turned out, I felt very stupid. But so Stormy Sky listeners, keep an eye out for maybe Stratford a week on Saturday.
Could have been more. Could have been more expensive.
Yes, it could have been. Yeah. It could. The steak pie was nice in the O&T room. Nice. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, that's good food there.
I've gone off tangent. What was I asking you?
Oh no, you're just asking about other chances on the card. Yeah. There was one horse I'm going to keep an eye on. That's Elusive Theatre.
Yes.
In the 2:15 at Carlisle.
Yeah.
She's been in really good form this season. Jumps really well. any rain that falls beforehand, that will really suit her because she loves soft, heavy ground.
Right.
And Stuart Crawford, the trainer's in really good form. They've actually opted for this race, a novice chase, over the handicap later on the card.
Okay.
Where she was well treated, our horse. So, yeah.
Okay, good argument. Guys, anything else on Saturday before we get to the naps?
I'll have a go at the Rosebery League just because it's such an evocative title, as you said.
It is.
It looks very difficult, but Contrast I thought was well drawn, and the extra furlong should help. He has some upside, a tentative selection in a difficult race. And the 4:30 in Cork is an interesting 3-runner heat. There's a horse of Joseph O'Brien's called Escamillo,
Right.
who responded very well to Cash and a layoff and a back-end maiden at Navan.
Right.
But he was still quite green that day. Now, he absolutely bolted up, but I think that he's all the horses in the race have potential, of course. It's a 3-year-old race, but I think he could have a good season, and I think he'll kick off by winning the 4:30 at Cork tomorrow.
Good man, excellent. And Rob, anything else from you before we go into naps?
Yeah, 3 at Cork, on the go again after winning the Irish Lincolns. Quick out. He runs against Ozzy Valentine. He's £8 up, but I thought he'd win that. Obviously, Declan McDonough's coming in for Pat Smullen, and we're all thinking of Pat at this time.
Yeah.
He rides Shariva for Dermot Weld in the 355. That was third on debut. It's got entries in the Irish Guineas and the Irish Oaks. I thought she'd be good enough to win to that. And I'm going to post Brendan in the 4:30. Imaging also for Dermot Weld, and Declan McDonough was a 9-length winner at Limerick on heavy ground last season, and the ground very much in that one's favour. So I thought that would be the one to beat in the 4:30.
Cheers, Rob, and you've set us up nicely for our naps.
This will not be beaten.
Beautiful. Okay, who wants to go first? Rob, what's your nap for Saturday?
Right, I'm going to go to Musselburgh at 3 o'clock at the Yamat, the horse that me and Brendan liked. I thought he was a good thing in the 3 o'clock.
Yeah, you were keen on him. Brendan?
3:15 Haydock behind Pine.
Lovely. And James?
I'm going to go for Ron's Dream in the 5 o'clock at Haydock. She had the best form of these mares over hurdles, and she's really taken to fences. And any rain that falls beforehand, that will play into her hands as well. Real good, tough sort.
Fabulous. Okay, guys, that's 3 naps for you for Saturday. After the commercial break, we'll move to Sunday.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet the next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Easter weekend racing postcast with myself, Lee Mottershead. We've got James Hill, Brendan Duke, and from our sponsors, Paddy Power, Rob Catterson. And we're now going to look at the first of 3 days of cracking racing at Fairyhouse, the Irish Grand National Festival. And it begins with a card that's full of stars, lots of Cheltenham Festival winners too on Sunday. The big race, Rob, is the Ryanair Gold Cup. Grade 1, 9 runners here representing just 2 trainers. Remarkable, really. Willie Mullins and Gordon Elliott have all the 9 runners. Rob, how are they betting?
Yeah, it's amazing. I think for a Grade 1 in Ireland, it has to be a first that we've only two trainers covering the whole field. It's brilliant, and obviously we've got the Irish Trainers Championship, which will be kicking up a gear. So we're 5-4 Shattered Love, the Cheltenham winner, 9-2 the Storyteller. So Gordon's got the top 2 in the betting. 5's Invitation Only. We're 5-1 also Album Photo. 12's Saturnas and 14's Bar.
Okay, and Rob, how do you see the race?
I was very, very keen on Invitation Only at Cheltenham. Obviously, things didn't go well when he did the splits at the 4th last, but the fact that they're running him here, I know Willie's probably going to run an awful lot of horses over the coming weeks, but he's a horse that I just thought was capable of winning a Grade 1. I was very impressed with him at Punchestown. I thought he was definitely the pick of Willie's. And if you're looking for something at a price, there was a few quid earlier in the week for Up for Review, who was an easy winner at Goran on his most recent start. And obviously, he comes here fresh. But I think it could be a 1-2 for Willie and a 1-2 for Graham Wiley as well.
Okay. We should actually say, you think this would be a first, but it's actually not. In the Ryanair hurdle over Christmas, Willie and Gordon had all their runners in that race too. But Brendan, in a 9-runner race, to have, I mean, you're a thinker on these matters. What's your take on it? Is it good? Is it bad? Are you indifferent to it?
I personally think, as a spectator, it's good,
right?
Because you have these owners, and it's a purely selfish thing in years gone by, I would have had to go to England to see these horses.
Yeah.
And it's created this perfect storm, I think, with Gordon, where Willie wasn't great at running his horses against one another, but now he has to.
Yes.
Because every time he turns around, Gordon's another 100 grand ahead in the trainer's title.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter to me who owns or who trains the horses once they run against one another. That's purely speaking as a spectator, which is the only way I can speak.
Yeah, no.
And I think this is a proper race, and there'll be plenty of proper races between this meeting and Punchestown in this with Willie's quest to retain his trainer's title, and it'll make for very good viewing.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. They're also there's a large number of owners in that Ryanair Gold Cup as well. It's not as if they're two trainers, two owners. Quite a lot of different connections represented. Brandon, you didn't say who you think is going to win the race.
Well, I'm inclined to agree with Rob. I mean, Shattered Love is a worthy fav. She couldn't have been more impressed with the JLT, but we don't know what would have happened with Invitation Only. He was a bit on and off the bridle. I'm not sure he was loving the track or whatever, but he had come back onto the bridle prior to that slip. And it's a massive swing in the prices. He's now 4 times the price of Shattered Love. So I'll take a chance at that price on Invitation Only.
Okay, and James?
I'm going to go with Shattered Love. I was very impressed with her at Cheltenham. I thought she had questions to answer because she hadn't run well at the meeting the previous year. But I thought she won nicely, actually. She's a very nice-looking mare. I didn't think Invitation, well, having been at the track that day, looked well at all before the race, and he was weak in the market, and he didn't look to be going well to me when he had that slip-up. So I couldn't really fancy him on the back of that.
Okay, James, you're not keen on the Mullins #1 in that race. My guess is you're probably going to be keener on the Mullins #1 in the Irish Stallion Farms Mares Novice Hurdle, a little lady called Lorena.
Yeah, I think we can expect her to win, don't you?
I think we probably
after
can.
That performance at Cheltenham.
I think we probably can.
She's so exciting, isn't she? The sky's the limit for her. I just hope next season we don't see her running in loads of mares races. We actually see her running in the Champion Hurdle, or if ever fences an Arkle or something, because she really is box office.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
exciting.
I mean, Willie was saying after the Mares Novice Hurdle that if there was a mares chase at the festival, she'd be an obvious one for it, which in some ways I think is the biggest argument for not having a mares chase
absolutely, yeah.
at the Cheltenham Festival.
Well said.
Rob, tell me you're going to give us a bit of evens about Lorena.
Well, if we were going evens, I'd probably be resigning the first thing and back.
Oh, go on, just a little bit. No.
It'd be nice. It'd be well, maybe for you or something like that on the side or something like that. Like I'd say she's 1 to 3. I'd say there's whatever big hitters are in Ferryhouse are probably thinking that's money for jam. Like there's just she's just head and shoulder. Like if this was a Grade 1 novice hurdle at Punchestown and there was no Sam Crow, she'd probably be favoured to win any of those. She's just head and shoulders above everything. I think even Willie said it weeks before Cheltenham she was top class. So we're 1 to 3 her. We're 9 to 1 high school days. It's 12's bar. This is obviously a race for each way backers. And at the start of the season, before we'd heard anything about Lorena, the horse that was coming out as Willie's next future star was Salsaretta. And the first time we saw her was when she ran at Cheltenham. And she ran well for a long way before falling at the last. At 20 to 1, she looks hugely overpriced. They're obviously running her, getting a bit of black type. She'll probably still be a maiden next year and still a novice. So I think there's every chance she's going to be second or third at 20s, but it's only a matter of how far for Lorena.
Okay, a bit of an each way put there from Rob and Brendan.
Yes, impossible to oppose Lorena. Nothing little about this lady, is there?
No, she's a big unit. Girl. Yeah, she's a unit.
She's a big, and I have to say, I would have assumed, as with all Willie Mullins, she'd go down the mare's route last year, but a bit of hope for James and the rest of us in terms of Footpad. The owners have overruled Willie and gone to Aintree, and that mare that won the bumper in Cheltenham, Willie wanted to go for the mare's race in Sandown the previous weekend, because normally he has this voodoo control over owners. He does what he wants to do, and the owners just turn up on the day. But if the guy Sullivan, who did have a half share in Beaufort there, so he might feel it's a bit of unfinished business in the Champion Hurdle, if he said to Willie Mullins, now look, Willie, I'd love to go for a Champion Hurdle trial. It's not like we're short of them. I'd just go for a Champion Hurdle trial to see what she can do. She could yet end up making up into a Champion Hurdle mare.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Wouldn't it be great as well if she met Sam Crow at Punchestown? It probably won't happen, but That'd be very lovely.
The trainer's title up for grabs as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Guys, before we finish Punchestown, there's another Cheltenham Festival runner, another Cheltenham Festival runner going in the Grade 2 novice hurdle at 3:20 on Sunday, blow by blow. Do we see him winning, guys?
Yeah.
I thought. Oh, sorry.
No. Go on, Brendan. Carry on. You've come furthest. Go on.
I thought Duke Geneva ran very well at Cheltenham and is a progressive horse. I thought he'd probably be the chosen one of Willie Mullins, and he's probably the one I'd choose as well.
Okay, James, you about to say something?
I was going to say I do think Blow by Blow can win.
Okay.
He's top rated. Now I know he's giving weight to everything, but he won that Martin Pike very well.
Yeah.
We know from his bumper days that he's what a good horse he can be. So perhaps we've got the real Blow by Blow back.
Brilliant. Okay, and Rob, anything else at Fairyhouse on Sunday, or indeed anywhere else on Sunday?
Yeah, that's great too. You're talking at the novice hurdle. I had it between Scarpetta and Duke de Genève, and Scarpetta having just finished ahead of Duke de Genève behind Sam Crow. We just thought he might be one who would improve a little bit more. Could be a good day for Gordon down in Cork. You think he's got runners in every race bar the last, so keep an eye out for him. But I thought the best horse or the best chance in Cork, Barry Garrity's got the Cork on Sunday for 2 rides. He rides Spades are Trumps for Gavin Cromwell. I think he's a great chance. He was second he beat actually Paloma Blue in his maiden hurdle, and he was just touched off in his most recent start. And it's a pretty good handicap hurdle in Cork. So I thought Spades are Trumps there. And in the bumper, the sales bumper, Willie's got 4. There's already been a bit of word for Pont Avon. He could be the best of Willie's 4 in that big sales bumper on Sunday.
Okay, Brendan?
No, that's it for me, Lee.
Okay, that's mine. That's grand. And James?
No, nothing for me on Sunday either, other than those races.
Okay, well, in that case, we will just have a quick look at the big one on Monday, because our next podcast will be on Tuesday. The Boyle Sports Irish Grand National. Always a fantastic contest. 30 declared, 3 reserves. No Brits, sadly. 13 trained by Gordon Elliott. Rob, how do you bet on the Irish National?
Yeah, we're 6 places in the Irish National, 13 for Gordon, 5 for Willie. We're 7-1 Pair of Brown Eyes, having a second start for Willie. Paul Townend's chosen him. We're 8-1 Bell's Hill. We're 9-1 Maldini. It's then 10's Monbeg Notorious, 12's False and Blue and Squator, 14's Bar.
Okay, and what's your idea of the Irish National winner?
Crazy statly. The last 4 years, less than half the starters have finished the race. Right. And I suppose when you hear a stat like that, you're probably thinking an awful lot of horses fall. But it's so stamina sapping that the majority of horses end up being pulled up in this. So you need stamina. You need a horse with proven stamina. I backed Bell's Hill a couple of weeks ago, but he's very high in the weights. He's not proven over a trip like this. And I've come down to False and Blue. Obviously, he was a leading fancy for the Welsh National. Then it got transferred. He didn't make it in the end. Went to Sandown and ran well in a hurdle. Won the Grand National Trial at Punchestown. If you want a horse who stays, if you want a horse who likes heavy ground, False and Blue is the one for me.
Isn't he Gary O'Brien's horse as well from ATR?
He is, yeah, and Robbie Power's on him. I think Robbie has a connection with one of the owners, so
right.
It'll be a poignant win for Robbie, obviously, who won it last year as well.
Okay, and Brendan, I talked to you as a frustrated man, because I backed Bell's Hill at 40-1 for the National when the weights came out, and you know he's off 148 at Aintree, he's off 158 here at Fairyhouse. Do you think it's just the Irish Trainers' Championship that's making Willie run him in this race?
Yes, you are a victim of this Irish Trainers' Championship.
I'm a victim.
Which I was revelling in earlier. I feel terrible now, Lee. I feel absolutely terrible. Yes, I would say that is the reason.
Yeah, I don't blame you personally, Brendan, to be fair. It's not your fault.
As you say, it's a no-brainer from a point of view of handicapping. I mean, Pair of Brown Eyes was also £10 well in at Aintree, but he wouldn't have got into the race, unlike Bell's Hill.
Yeah.
So it is surprising. I feel for you now.
Well, I mean, I feel for myself as well, but nothing can be done about it. Is it significant, though, do you think, that Paul Townend is riding Pair of Brown Eyes, or would it simply be a case of, didn't David ride him last time, Bell's Hill?
Yes, well, also I'd say Paul Townend, I mean, he rode Pair of Brown Eyes, so I can only imagine what sort of a feeling he gave him in Goran, because visually, it was just a sensational performance. Now, as Rob says, the stamina isn't proven, but the stamina wasn't proven going into that race. And it was a little bit like Total Recall. I know it's an easy comparison, first run for Willie, but a little bit like Total Recall earlier in the season in the Munster National. For the last mile, your eyes were just drawn to him. You're just travelling all over the opposition. The third's gone and won a decent handicap in Navan. The sixth's gone and won the Ulster National since. The form looks strong. He's granted now, he is up 9 pounds. He's 1 pound well in on that performance, but it's a second run for Willie Mullins. If he does stay, he's going to take an awful lot of beating on that performance.
Yeah, does sound good. And James?
Well, I'm going to go for a bit of an outsider here. One of Gordon Elliott's runners, Sutton Manor.
Right.
He had some very good bits of form earlier in the season. I think he was second to the Storyteller at the track, and he was also fifth in last season's Pertemps final, won by Presenting Thursday, so that's very good form. So that would suggest on his very best he could be well treated. Cheek pieces remain on after he was brought down last time, so if they have the right effect, I think he can go well in the testing ground.
Okay, and my hope is that Bellshill wins the Irish National easily, prompting Willie Mullins and Graham Wiley to think, let's go for the Irish National Grand National double in the same season. I fear I'm clutching at straws.
Well, live in hope.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Anything else, guys, on Monday you wanted to mention before we close the programme?
Well, the decks aren't.
No, we haven't got decks yet. No, so you'd have to be guessing, wouldn't you, really?
Yes, in the 350.
Go on.
If Blueberry turned up in the 350, he'd beat a proper horse in Cheltenham of Paul Nicholls. I'd expect him to win again if he shows up.
Okay. Well, I reckon that then is just about it, guys. Have a wonderful Easter, James, Brendan and Rob. Don't forget, we're back on Tuesday with our weekend review postcast. If you enjoyed listening to this, and we hope you did, then do please rate, review and subscribe us on iTunes. It makes us more visible to lots of potential new listeners. And we leave you with a beautiful musical moment. This is Mick Easterby with the Cole Porter classic, Night and Day.
This is therapy for the top yard horses.
It's no matter, darling, where you are, I think of you. Night and day, day and night. Why is it so that this longing for you lingers wherever I go? And the roaring traffic's boom, or the silence of my lonely room, I think of you. Night and day, day and night, under the hide of me, there's oh such a hungry yearning burning inside of me, that its torment won't be through till I let me spend my life making love to you, day and night, night and day. How's that?
Very good.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet the next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.